What's going on, guys? Good to see you back on the channel. So just one day before the reveal trailer for the multiplayer part of Battlefield 6, we have so much stuff going around Battlefield 6, Battle Royale part, single player, multiplayer, maps, so much stuff being leaked, so much leaks being debunked by, people who are actually trustworthy, and we just have so much stuff to talk about. The first quarter of 2026 fiscal year investors call was just yesterday, and Andrew Wilson has some interesting stuff to talk about. We also have the Battlefield 6 maps leaked all in one place this time. The Battle Royale map that Temporal actually shared might be made up, which is a hot take and somewhat of a controversy, to be honest, really. But we're going to talk about that as well. We're going to talk about having wall hacks in Battlefield 6 that was first just brought up by a guy called Rival X Factor. He is one of the OG creators and streamers of Battlefield, and that was debunked by David Sirland. We're also going to talk about the chances of Battle Royale getting delayed to months later after the release of Battlefield 6, and we're also going to talk about the open beta date actually being debunked by Tom Henderson. That was previously said to be 4th of August, which is, according to Tom Henderson, is not correct. And we don't know a date yet, but we know that it's not going to be August 4th. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and talk about that. First of all, I'm going to talk about what Tom Henderson has to say about the open beta date. So Tom says the Battlefield 6 August 4th beta date is wrong to my knowledge. We all know that Tom Henderson from Insider Gaming is somewhat of a trustworthy source when it comes to leaks, because he's got first-hand information from developers. So we're not, talking about some random dude trying to put up some random stuff on internet. We're talking about Tom Henderson. So if he says it's not going to be August 4th, I'm going to go all in and trust his words. And in my opinion, I told you before, August 4th is just too soon to go from alpha to beta, The transition speed between pre-alpha to alpha was so slower than the transition speed between alpha and beta. That shouldn't be the case. They actually should put some time and resources into the alpha build to make it, beta approved for the amount of people that want to actually experience Battlefield 6. So a little bit of delay to beta is going to be something positive in my opinion. However, let's jump straight to the investors call. The CEO of EA actually has to say about the next Battlefield game. We've been investing more behind this Battlefield than any Battlefield product before it. Common sense, they always say the same. Content creators will spend all day with the products tomorrow, and they'll begin streaming that product, which means Battlefield 6, out to their fan bases on Thursday. We believe that the game we've built and all the modes around it are very in line with fan expectations around the world, both existing Battlefield fans and new to the franchise fans. We've spent a lot of time and a lot of energy ensuring that this Battlefield is the Battlefield that the community expects, and so given that relative to what we're seeing in the marketplace, we feel very good about our launch window, which is going to be this year. I know you have many questions. A great many of those will be answered. You may leave with some more, but almost all of them, I hope, will be positive in nature. Andrew Wilson also mentioned that this Thursday's reveal event will be their most ambitious reveal yet, with a quote-unquote massive multiplayer showcase featuring quote epic maps and modes, and a behind-the-scenes look with developers. So one thing is very important here to keep in mind. Andrew Wilson is the same person who had said that Battlefield 2042 was ahead of schedule, which clearly we all know that was a all-out lie, honestly, because Battlefield 2042 was nowhere near even around the schedule, okay? And that was one of the worst, if not the worst release of all Battlefield games. So the same person coming out saying something like that to people who know, based on reports and leaks by someone like Tom Henderson from Battlefield developers, that the game is completely behind schedule, especially the single player parts. I'm not going to believe this dude, and basically who I want to believe are developers who are actually leaking this stuff, and they are burning out to actually be able to somehow make this game to its release date, which in my opinion is probably impossible, and they might actually need to delay this game, I've said this before, to even early 2026 in order for it to have a decent launch. We're not talking about the perfect launch like Battlefield 1, we're just talking about some decent launch, something not like 2042, something that doesn't mess everything up. So that was about it with Andrew Wilson, but we have some interesting stuff here. So this Battlefield 6 Battle Royale map that you're seeing on the screen right now was actually leaked by Temporal. Now you guys probably know him. Whatever he's leaked so far turned out to be legit, and this is the Battle Royale map that he's leaked a few days ago. We have some points of interest here: Marina, Main Street North, Golf Resort, Fort Linden, and all those kind of stuff. But he has some interesting stuff to talk about here as well. Based on what Temporeal has to say, the location appears to be called Linden Beach. I've added a few points of interest for context. There are scattered hints of a metro system. So if we're going to talk about a Battle Royale map, metro systems are going to be very interesting to have a fight in, and the mod is currently labeled as Battlefield Royale in the game. So something's very interesting here. Corlig99 is a top 1% poster on Reddit, and they have some interesting stuff to talk about. This is what the Reddit post is actually labeled as. The leaked Battle Royale map could be fake. According to one of the influencers at the multiplayer reveal event, EA might have taken it down with a DMCA strike because Temporeal made it up. Now, this is very interesting. You have to take both the map and this claim with a grain of salt, but just keep one thing in mind. Temporeal is not the kind of person that actually puts some stuff on the internet for no reason, makes things up. He's not the kind of guy, okay? And we know that. So I'd say take the map and take this claim both with a grain of salt. I'm pretty sure we are going to get info, legit official info on the Battle Royale section soon enough. So that's just a leak, and that is just a claim to know about. Nothing too fancy, just keep that in mind. However, this one's from One Battlefield Telegram channel, and in my opinion, this is very interesting. Over the weekend, there was a rumor that the Battle Royale would not launch on October 10th, but would be released later. I deliberately didn't post anything so I could come home and check everything out. Currently, the situation in the API is as follows. The Battle Royale does not have a release date set in the API. However, the HD textures for the Royale do have a release date set, which is October 10th, but they might have just set it by default like everything else. Also, the Battle Royale currently has no languages set and no pages in partner stores, so it might indeed have been postponed indefinitely. The reasons are interesting. Do they want to sell more Battlefield 6 and not dilute marketing? Is the Royale simply not ready for release and even less ready than the single player? I made a previous video on the reports from Tom Henderson from developers basically saying that Battlefield 6 single player is way behind schedule and the game is not going to be ready for the time set, being October 10th, okay? In my opinion, the Battle Royale isn't complete yet. Otherwise, for marketing purposes, it would be just great to release both main game and free Battle Royale at the same time. I'm not sure if you agree with me or not. Let me know down in the comment section, but that, in my opinion, makes sense because you are giving away a game for $70 to $80 for the standard edition, and then you have a free Battle Royale part that people around the world can come and try and decide if they want to bother buying the game or not. In my opinion, the marketing is going to be hit hard if the Battle Royale isn't going to come out with the main game. So I'm going to put my bet on the game not being ready, because otherwise they would just release it with the main game and that would be a perfect hit for the marketing purposes. And this one is very interesting. This is news, by the way, based on a Game Hero poll. 80% of surveyed Call of Duty players are more excited for BF6 than Black Ops 7. Also, the BF6 trailer received significantly more likes than the BO7 trailer, despite a substantial difference in the number of views. Long story short, the trailer for Battlefield 6 got less views but more likes compared to Black Ops 7 trailer. I have really close friends who are actually Call of Duty players, and they're really not excited for Black Ops 7. In fact, they believe that it's a failure even before launch, and they're betting everything they have on the next game after Black Ops 7, which is very interesting. The marketplace for FPS games, as I said before, is completely just messed up, and it's a very good opportunity for EA and DICE and other studios working on Battlefield 6 if they know how to do things, because, you know, it's an open field, opportunity lies ahead. There's no really, worthwhile competitor out there for a game as big as a Battlefield game. And if they actually make things right, they can have the fun of their life. We can have the fun of our life. And we're going to have a very good Battlefield with a very decent fan base and player counts on our hand. Now, according to Rival X Factor, an OG creator and streamer of Battlefield, Battlefield 6 has added Wallhacks, and it's gonna be a giant problem. Remember when I said that if Battlefield was willing to mess up with core aspects of the game like class-locked weapons, and that would mean nothing is off limits, they clearly have the need and desire to reinvent the wheel instead of delivering us a core Battlefield experience, and now the integrity of the game will suffer. Rival X Factor was really, shocked. I would be shocked if I were him, but one thing's very interesting. David Sirland actually came up with an answer. So here's what David has to say. Quote, "What is referred to here was an old initial make classes as impactful as possible exploration for Assault class gadget, which was the Stim Pen. It was tested on labs for, I believe, one build a long time ago, and it has has been removed from the feature set since then, and for good reasons. So hold on to your horses, see you later this week. Rival X Factor claims that he worked closely with David Sirland and they kind of know each other. So that's why David actually came up with an answer very fast, and that's really kind of him because the community right now is really at a delicate stage. You know, any ridiculous leak can cause us some trust, that shouldn't really happen right now. So that's really good from David. Shout out to him. Keeping the community up to date on everything, not letting ridiculous leaks slip out. That's really good job. And finally, let's take a look at all of the Battlefield 6 maps leaked so far. This is basically from Battlefield 1 Telegram channel. They've been doing a great job leaking some important stuff. And here we have all the maps. So you guys are seeing this. Some of this is in Russian. Don't mind that. Starting from top left, we have Abbasid, Outskirts, Battery, Limestone, Capstone, Tungsten, Dumbo, Aftermath, Eastwood, Badlands, Granite, which is the Battle Royale map, and we have some remake maps. These are very interesting. Operation Firestorm. I can't tell you how excited I am to play in Operation Firestorm again. That was just great. Propaganda, which was a great map. Telemarket, you probably know as Battlefield 3 players how good that map was, and Downtown as well. These are all the maps that are apparently available from day one in Battlefield 6, and that's going to be 14 maps, which is good. Combining that with around 50 weapons on launch, at least the weapon roster and map roster is going to be promising. So that's about all the news for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and hope this was helpful. Let me know what you think about the leaks. Do you really believe that the next Battlefield game should actually receive a delay, or DICE and other studios will be able to somehow make it to the release date? In my opinion, that's just not possible with what we know so far. Thank you all guys for watching, and until next time, guys, stay cool.